David Hume proposed a theory about the self that challenges the common assumption of a fixed, unchanging self. In his work, A Treatise of Human Nature, Hume rejects the idea that there is a central, permanent self that remains the same throughout time. Instead, Hume argues that the self is nothing more than a bundle of perceptions, a collection of impressions and ideas that are constantly changing. Hume claims that there is no underlying self that holds our experiences together. Rather, the self is simply a bundle of perceptions that happen to be related in space and time. The concept of a permanent, enduring self is a fiction, according to Hume. The central idea of Hume's theory is that there is no core self that exists apart from our experiences. He suggests that what we call the self is simply a bundle of perceptions. These perceptions are mental states such as sensations, emotions, memories, and thoughts, which are grouped together by the mind over time. There is no unified self that unites these perceptions. Rather, they are loosely connected and constantly changing. Hume writes, the mind is a kind of theatre where several perceptions successively make their appearance, pass, repass, glide away, and mingle in an infinitive variety of postures and situations. In Hume's view, the idea of a consistent, unchanging self is illusory. Instead, the self is a mental construct, a convenient label we attach to the collection of perceptions that we happen to identify with. Just as a bundle of sticks does not have an inherent unity beyond the individual sticks that make it up, the self is a bundle of mental states that lack any inherent unifying essence. Hume's bundle theory offers a direct challenge to traditional views of personal identity. In many Western philosophical traditions, the self is viewed as a unified, permanent identity. For example, the Cartesian view presents the self as a thinking subject that exists independently of its experiences. Descartes famously declared, I think, therefore I am, suggesting a stable self that endures over time. In contrast, Hume asserts that the self is not something that persists over time in a fixed form. There is no central core identity that remains constant. Rather, what we perceive as the self is merely a bundle of related but distinct perceptions, which are always in flux. A key component of Hume's theory is the role of memory in forming our sense of self. According to Hume, we identify with the continuity of our perceptions over time. The mind relies on memory to maintain a sense of personal identity, linking past experiences with present ones. However, this memory is not proof of an underlying permanent self, it is simply a connection between related perceptions. The idea of a unified self is a product of the mind's tendency to connect experiences through memory. There is no real substance or identity behind these perceptions. What we call the self is merely a construct of related, transient mental states. Hume's bundle theory raises significant questions about the nature of personal identity and the self. By denying a permanent, unchanging self, Hume challenges the notion that we are stable, continuous beings over time. Instead, he argues that personal identity is a convenient fiction that the mind constructs by linking together various perceptions through memory and association.